To create a new checklist, navigate to the Checklist tab. Then create a checklist category or select an existing category. Once my category has been set, I'll select Save, and it has been created. Now I'll log into my category and select New Checklist. Here I can change the image of my checklist if I'd like, and I can set a checklist name. If you want to add a description, you can do so here. You can also adjust your passing percentage. Here I'm going to make my passing percentage 80%. Now I'm going to select Create Checklist. Now my checklist has been created. Scrolling down, I can see that my editor is now open. I can select Add Category to create my checklist categories. Once completed, I'll select the pencil icon to save it. My first category will be front of house. I'm going to add one more category for back of house. Once my categories have been created, I'll begin to add questions. Using the plus sign for my category, I can now add my first question. You'll see 1.1. Scrolling down, I can now enter in the question information. I've entered in my question. I can also enter in any description information necessary. Scrolling down, I can now choose my answer choices. Here on the drop-down menu, you see we have several different answer choices to choose from. For now, I'll select multiple choice. Scrolling down, I can add the amount of answer choices I would like for my questions. Now I can enter in the specific information I would like to be seen for this question. I have yes, no, and NA for my answer choices. Now you can add the score based off of which answer, as well as adjust the colors, like so. If an answer option should not affect the score of the overall checklist, you can select Exclude from Scoring to make sure that they do not receive or lose any points if this is selected. If a specific answer will cause them to auto-fail, you can select the auto-fail box to make sure that by selecting that answer, the entire inspection will fail. If you no longer want an answer option, you can go ahead and use the X to the right to remove it and confirm. For multiple choice, you can allow them to select multiple answer selections by selecting this box. You can also require any questions by selecting Require this field. This will ensure that they have to answer this question before completing the inspection. You can also add more than one answer set to a question. For instance, here I'm going to select number input and select temperature as my label, with a passing requirement of 30 to 40 degrees. If you would like to add a score for within this range, you can say that they will receive 1 point if they enter in an answer between this range. You can also require this field and make it auto-fail. Once I have added all of the information associated with my questions, I'd want to hit Save. A few more options that you can add to your questions. At the bottom here, you can see that you can also require that a photo is taken. This will make sure that they take a photo for this particular question before they're able to complete an inspection. Scrolling back up, I can also select the Training Images and Links tab. This will allow me to add a reference image that will pop up when I first see the question. You can also add a website link if you would like. Once I'm finished with that question, I'll select the Save button here to minimize. Now I can continue to add more questions as needed and follow the same process. If I wanted to move questions around, I could do so by drag and drop. Over here, you can see the 6 dots that have popped up on the left-hand side. I can now drag and drop this question to be my first question of the checklist. I can also drag and drop categories by the same process. This will also move the questions associated with that category. To delete a category, you can select the X on the right-hand side. This also applies to questions. Once all of my questions have been added, I'll select Save at the top. When your checklist is ready to be published, you will then want to add it to a user group to give access on the mobile side. To do so, please visit our tutorial video for adding a checklist to a user group.